But there was some good news today. President Clinton said today, he said the Y2K bug will cause no major problems when we finally hit December 31st. And, whew, an anxious nation breathes easier. No, the president said, I thought this was quite a quote, he said that this is the greatest management challenge the world has faced since World War II. Wow. And Bill Gates called it the exciting new feature of the Windows operating system. Well, this is a big week for the military. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. Today was the 224th anniversary of the Marines. Any Marines here? There you exemplify, exactly. Who, by the way, are awfully sensitive about the gays in the military issue. Today, they announced that they're over hill, but no longer over dale. Now, hey, speaking about sensitive to gay, do you know that Pokemon, the movie, opened today and already protests? I tell you, every time that there's a kid's, do you remember Teletubbies? Tinky Winky? Oh, yeah. The Christian right is protesting, saying if he's not gay, why isn't it Poke-a-Woman? That, really, silly. And finally, you may have heard about this. There's a big controversy down in Miami. A restaurant is being sued because the owner of the restaurant added a tip to a black customer's check because he said black people don't tip as much. It's not me, this is what this guy said. And already there's a huge firestorm about it. Louis Farrakhan today called on OJ to kill another waiter. All right. Let's meet our panel. He has his own radio show, and his book is Extreme Evil, Kids Killing Kids. Ugh, Bob Larson. Bob. Hello. Hey, Bob. Good to see you again. Thank you. That's the feel-good book of the summer. He's the critically acclaimed director of Clerks, and chasing Amy, his new one, Dogma, opens tomorrow. Kevin Smith, director. Kevin Smith. Kevin, how are you? No, right there. She is one of the fine stars of ER Thursday nights on another network like you don't know it's NBC. Laura Innes, right over here. Hey, gorgeous. Thank you for coming.
Sure.
And he's a fabulous actor, comedian, and cartoon character. Howie Mandel is over here. Howie Mandel. How are you? Okay. All right. Kevin, let's get right into your movie. It opens tomorrow, Dogma, and like a lot of movies that deal with religion, people are protesting it who have never seen it and will never see it.
I saw it and I'm protesting it.
You saw it already?
I saw it already. I saw it last night.
Did we start already?
No, it's not out, but I guess you got it.
It's not out, but I've seen it.
That's right.
This is not the Divine Comedy. This is Satan Meets South Park.
I thought South Park was Satan Meets South Park.
Okay, now, for those of you who
But
don't
when he says that, it makes me want to go see it.
Yes. Yeah. Which is how these movies very often get a lot of extra business.
Yes.
It's been a self-defeating campaign on the behalf of the people that have spoken out about the movie.
Right.
I just don't believe that if you want someone to ignore something, that you point at it and scream, don't look, see it, don't look at it. If you don't want people to know it, just ignore it, let it go away. It's a movie, it'll be gone in a week.
Well, in spite of the fact I may be the best publicity you've got, I still think, not even being Catholic, somebody has to speak out against the outrage of this film. I mean...
well, let me tell you some of the things that are in the movie, excuse me, and then we'll go right to you. All right. It's about two fallen angels who are trying to sneak back into heaven through a divine loophole, okay? The hero is a descendant of Jesus Christ, which kind of intimates that he was active.
No. It says that, but you're getting me in more trouble than I'm in already, and this guy's sitting across from me.
I missed that part.
Right. Well, that's not in it, Bob, trust me. It says that Christ had brothers and sisters after Mary's virgin birth, he had brothers and sisters.
But she advocates abortion, right?
Well, she works in an abortion clinic.
Works in an abortion clinic. There's a 13th apostle who is black, who says he was sort of left out because he was black.
Right.
And John the Baptist is referred to as Jack. No, I made that last one. But, okay, so that's what people are upset about. Laura Innes now.
You know, I saw the movie Saturday night, and I'm just amazed at your reaction to the movie. Here is a person who's totally, in a very active and heartfelt way, trying to explore his beliefs and his faith in a contemporary way, which is throughout history. This is something that people have pursued, trying in their own way to define their religion.
Do we have to have a potty-mouthed prophet leading people to the divine gate to heaven?
What happens at the end of the movie? There is so much finding of faith and love of God in this movie.
And bashing of the church. It's like the church has never done anything good. It's like there are no Rose Kennedys, there's no Mother Teresa's, there's no Catholic hospitals, there's no Catholic charities. It's like the church never did anything right.
But Bob, we tried to get Rose Kennedy, and it didn't pan out for us.
Let me ask something.
But wait a second.
Well, you couldn't have her fall naked from the sky like you did Chris Rock.
Let's hear from the Jew.
Yeah, okay.
You know, what I don't understand, and first of all, I want to say I'm the only one here that hasn't seen the movie. I didn't get invited to the movie yet, but I'm going to go when it opens. But I'm a fan of your earlier work, and from what I understand, and I may be wrong, and you're right here to tell me if I am, it's comedy.
Yes.
Right? It's
First
a comedy,
and
it's a movie.
Yes.
And what I don't understand is how that can affect the church. How can a movie affect the church? If people are so ignorant that they will go to a movie, a comedy, and take what they are seeing to heart, like the 13th Apostle is actually Chris Rock. Or that, you know, I mean, I don't understand.
Well, I agree.
But then we got a bigger problem than this movie.
It's probably as...
But isn't a bigger problem with the church is that nobody believes and follows what the church says anyway, including the Catholics. Catholics practice what they want to practice. They go to see the Pope because he's a big celebrity, but they go home and they masturbate, they practice birth control. Well, they do.
It's amazing that many people can applaud with one hand.
But if you're going to deal with if you're going to deal with the serious issues of faith, of God, of the devil, of demons, of eternity, of heaven and hell, I mean, you have to have it one way or another. This is either a comedy. It's either irrelevant or it's irreverent.
It's a comedy.
But at times he gets very serious, and he has a lot of heavy theology.
Any comedy you've ever seen, I have not seen this one, but any comedy you've ever seen, aren't the issues always based in serious issues? Isn't it always a relationship comedy? Isn't it always an adventure? Isn't there...
Dog comedy as well.
That's what we're doing here. That's how we get our comedy.
And the fact of the matter is, anything that's...
We're laughing, we're talking about something serious.
Anything that's going to speak about faith to an audience that doesn't really think about faith or go to church anymore, even if you're doing it in a potty-mouth fashion, isn't the end result what matters the most?
I think the end result is a challenge to authority, and I think, you know, and when that man walked into Wedgwood Baptist and said religion is BS and started firing away, I'm sorry. I think it's time to take a step back. It's our kids who were killed at Columbine. Our kids who were shot at Wedgwood Baptist. I don't think we need these type of religious challenges to authority.
What we need is commercials,
affirmation.
more commercials. We'll be right back.
Politically Incorrect with Bill Barr, brought to you by Chevrolet.
Fine, turn over. Not now! Oh! Why did you get us started?
Hi, I'm Michael Jordan.
I'm Elmer Fudd.
Big news. America's going crazy for MCI 5 cents every day. Now it's 5 cents a minute every evening and all weekend long.
Now, a roving reporter. Let's find out how a typical American feels about MCI's 5 cents every day offer.
I'm speechless.
I'm soaked.
Now, Michael, so just call 1-800 every day to join.
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
killed 3 cops and her son.
Baby, I didn't mean to take your boy from you.
He told me it was an accident.
So why is she in jail? How far did she go? To see, love, fear, to stand by her man. 2020 Downtown, Thursday.
Mitch promised Maury he'd never work just for money.
You're going to keep in touch. You got to promise me. I promise.
But he traded promises for deadlines, headlines, and a big paycheck. Then one night,
Just who is Maury Schwartz?
Mitch and Maury got a second chance.
You made a big success, but you ran. Did you ever stop to think about what you're running from?
Jack Lemmon, Hank Azaria, the national bestseller comes to ABC. Oprah Winfrey presents Tuesdays with Maury, Sunday, December 5th.
Join us tomorrow when our guest will be Eric Idle, Meredith Brooks, from Will and Grace, Eric McCormick, and Jack Berkman.
All right, we were talking about God and religion, and by the way, you look fantastic.
Oh, gosh, thanks.
And you said something interesting, Bob. You said, you know, that he is blasphemous, but, you know, Kevin is a practicing Catholic, right? You go to church every Sunday.
Every Sunday on the holy days.
You tithe. You give 10% of
some of that money
10%.
goes.
That's as much as we give to our agents. People.
Yeah, 10 to an agent, 10 to the church.
It reminds me of the way, because it was in the news today that Newt Gingrich's deposition was taken from his girlfriend of 6 years, that he was with her for 6 years while he was married, okay? The Republicans always criticize for Clinton for being what he is, but they get divorced. Clinton stayed with his wife and worked it through. It seems like the same thing. I mean, he's a Catholic who's working it through.
Working through, but working through what? By attacking every major tenet of the faith? You know,
That's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. It doesn't
tenet of the
attack every
faith.
major tenet of the faith. It attacks the politics. If it attacks at all, it attacks maybe the politics of the church. But I don't even think it's an attack. I think it's a ribbing. And by sitting here and saying, like, it attacks every major tenet of the faith, and people hear that, they're like, God, he's right. I mean, he must be right. He's on TV and whatnot. But you have to know the benefit of letting people see something for themselves before making a judgment call. Plenty of people know, like, that you perform exorcisms, and they don't see it, and they're like, he must be a kook. But, like, if they saw you in action, you would like them to see you in action because they'd see the power of healing.
Some of the things that you challenge ought to be challenged.
You perform exorcisms?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. You're
The
kidding.
real thing.
Is there a Jane Fonda tape for that I'm not aware of?
But there is but you know what? There's a real demon named Loki. I'm interested in knowing, how did you ever come up with that name? Because there really is a demon named that.
Contrary to what you may believe, I read sometimes.
Where do you...
But you know, the good that's coming out of this film is the fact that you're having this discussion right now, and that it is opening people's eyes to this. If there is one problem with the church or synagogue or whatever organized religion, is the fact that there aren't that many people, as Bill stated, flocking to it. So maybe through comedy and entertainment, more people will come to it and discuss it.
You do deal with...
Absolutely. The movie
you didn't
makes
evade
people
the most
talk.
important issues.
Thanks.
You didn't evade the important issues of life and death and eternity and God and the reality of Jesus Christ, and you've done a favor in doing that.
Exactly. I mean, any movie
But if I may
sits there-
pause to correct something, you shouldn't, I don't think, lump in the synagogue with the church. They've operated very differently, okay? The synagogue, and I'm not Jewish, but I was raised Catholic, was never as corrupt as the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, which is people, not God, running it, okay, hugely corrupt, did horrible things through history, maybe, okay, because they were that powerful.
And a lot of good, too.
So, I mean, they shouldn't come into a little ribbing?
Absolutely. They've got some of it coming, particularly the plenary indulgence thing.
I mean,
I'm right with you on
where do
that.
you get the power to
on my
perform?
side.
I'm on your side when it comes to that. I'm even on your side in the issue of whether or not Mary and Joseph had children. I say right on.
You were
I'm right on.
Protestant, yeah?
It's just that when you've got an F-word spouting, potty-mouthed prophet running around who's saving this woman who's had an epiphany, I'm sorry. I mean, this is kind of the Dumb and Dumber version of theology.
But that's
There's
fine
an
that it's a Dumb and Dumber
overriding
version of
problem
theology.
with your point of view, from my perspective. Is there such hypocrisy about being so judgmental about somebody else's expression of their faith or search for their faith? And by the kind of thing that you're talking about is so alienating to people. And in my opinion, that kind of alienation is what causes the kind of problems you write about in your book. It's not that people don't need to be told how to think and what to think. They need to find their path.
What's alienating is giving a message to our young people that they don't need to respect authority.
That's not the
giving them a message that religion.
The message is maybe think for yourself,
That's
which
good.
of course causes a lot of problems with religions. Because they don't want you to do that because it's called a religion.
And Bob, at the same time, you're Christian, yes?
Yes.
Isn't it better that somebody's out there talking about Christ, even if it isn't sometimes four-letter terms? It's not the whole movie. They don't always use the F word and talk naughty stuff, just sometimes. But isn't it better that somebody's out there talking about it rather than nobody, or ignoring it, or saying God is dead or something like that?
I think there's a constructive way to do it, and the constructive way to do it is not to take a celestial being, put her in a strip bar where men can oogle at her, and then the next thing we see, she's on an elevator to heaven.
Again, that makes me want to see it. See?
When I grow up, I want to file all day.
I want to claw my way up to middle management. Be replaced on a whim. I want to have a brown nose.
I want to be a yes man.
Yes, woman. Yes, sir. Coming, sir.
Anything for a raise, sir.
When I grow up,
I want to be underappreciated.
be paid less for doing the same job.
I want to be forced into early retirement.
Check out the new Monster Talent Market, the first auction-style marketplace for freelancers.
Think Zig. With Katera's quick, responsive handling, it'll impress you left and right. Now think smart. Take advantage of up to $6,000 in factory-to-dealer cash on a new '99 Katera. And think about this. With Katera's 200 horsepower V6, adaptive transmission, and traction control, you wouldn't want a Katera or this opportunity to pass you by. So see your authorized Cadillac Katera dealer for a test drive today. Think Zig.
Last night, I got the best dish at the Olive Garden. Ravioli di portobello. Ravioli stuffed with mushrooms in a smoked cheese and sun-dried tomato sauce. The whole family said, Lucy, nobody knows food like you. Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
Let's see some D! D! D!
Log on to dsports.com, the ultimate sporting goods store. dsports.com sees the D.
Whether you're behind the center or behind the wheel, you've got to make the right call. Don't drink and drive.
From birth to age 3 are the most important years in a child's brain development. The time that defines who they become.
Stack of cards.
Very good. Oh, please don't get him started. We just got him off having his ears pierced.
Well, that was
when you were in
last year.
6th grade.
Great, I know. Thanks, Grandpa and Grandma.
Let's see it.
Oh,
We're all anxious to see it.
Look across. That's like Dad's jewelry, whatever, store, a jewelry store.
Right there, that piece you threw. Right.
Thank you, Grandpa and Grandma.
Get the keys. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
What's it like to be 7 and hear your doctor say the word cancer? Out of the darkness comes something beautiful, a wish come true, bringing hope and laughter and a reason to keep fighting a very grown-up battle. What's it like to help? Just call us at Make-A-Wish Foundation, because there's nothing like the power of a wish.
Okay, Kevin, this movie, which I'm going to open, is Friday, not
Friday
tomorrow.
comes out.
Actually, tomorrow, we have Eric Idle, Meredith Brooks, and Eric McCormick from Will and Grace. And Friday, we have our special child actor show. So you get home from the movie and see that. I'll take the edge off. Now, speaking of this kind of righteousness, John Glenn's book came out this week, and the big story in the book was that he said that he was passed over as the first guy to go up in space. He obviously was the first orbiter, but he wanted the first shot that Alan Shepard got. He said his fellow astronauts who got to vote on it voted him down because he was always lecturing them on keeping it zipped. You know, these were hot dog fighter pilots, and they were running around, you know, it was like the I Dream of Jeannie guy.
Right.
You know, I mean, they were astronauts running around Cape Canaveral, and they were getting astronaut tang. And they resented him for telling them that, because he wanted to stay home and polish his helmet. Okay, so who's right? Don't you think these guys were right?
Well, I think he miscalculated. I think that he purposely, he probably would have loved to have been a womanizer himself. And I think that he lectured them and tried to pee them off so that they would vote to get him out of there in space so there'd be more women for them to go around. If they could just get him up in space, then there would be... It didn't work out that way.
But don't you think in a life and death situation where you're in that capsule and, you know, your life is on the line, there are issues about integrity regarding the people who surround you?
What does that have to do with getting it on
wouldn't that
Earth?
reflect on their moral character?
Wait a second. If it's reflecting on their moral character, I mean, he's a guy in a spaceship and he's up in space. You're a minister, or you're
I'm a
on
little
the
bit of
radio
everything.
host.
You name
a
it,
little
I'm
bit of
in.
everything.
He's an
But
exerciser.
and you exercise people, and
He
you're a
wants the
public,
video.
and you're a public figure, a role model of sorts. But there have been allegations about your past and whatnot.
People
that
say
are
all
pretty tough.
types of things. When you're in the public eye, people say all kinds of things about you. Absolutely.
Exactly. But nobody says get him off the air because he might have cheated or he might have slept with some chicks or something like that. Let him do his job.
Well,
let
I
everyone
didn't.
worry
They do
about
it.
Wait
Would
a
like to
second.
get me, you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
This
I was
went from
gonna
John
say that
Glenn to me.
They both seem to me to have like huge moral lapses, because whoever should have been voted in on their merit, even if he was a jerk for lecturing to them, and even, you know, whatever. If he was the guy, he should have been the guy. So they both, it sounded like everybody was
But then they all have equal merit. I think they all had equal merit, and they got to choose who was going to go
They
first
had the
among
right
amongst
stuff,
them.
They had the right stuff. But wait a minute, you're comparing his ministry with astronauts. I mean, he's in the business of morality, and a little too far into it, in my opinion.
Excuse me.
These guys are astronauts. What the hell does that have to do with morality?
Is this the Jesse Ventura school of tailhook is okay because these guys are risking their lives every day?
Exactly.
What?
Exactly. You can't expect guys who risk their life, who are these kind of hotshot
To not
fighter
sexually
pilots.
harass women?
Yeah, but that's
Sexually
different.
harass.
Sexual
Sexual
harassment.
That's what Jesse was saying was okay.
Nobody's talking about sexual harassment.
Right,
We're
in
talking
Jesse's
about
case.
having affairs, right?
Yeah, but in
Or
Jesse's
sleeping
case,
around
they
or
were
whatever
sexually
they do.
harassing women.
No, they
And
weren't.
Jesse-
They were at
Jesse going up into space now?
No. Wait, you're talking about... But you're talking about tailhook, right?
I'm talking about
And you're
tailhook and Jesse
talking about
Ventura's
the
comments.
whole
But tailhook
separate-
wasn't harassment either. They all were at the same party. They were in Vegas. They were drunk. They were military people. They grabbed a little ass. Let it go. Okay. But we're talking about, guys, this was the Cold War. The Cold War. We were fighting the Russians.
But they were going up one at a time, right? So each guy was probably going to be in a capsule for days alone. So you want to get your quota before you leave. You're going to be... Right? And when you're up there alone, you got a glove on. Didn't the spacesuits have gloves? That's not fun.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's the second masturbation joke you got off tonight. Class, well done.
You mean you're saying that it would be hard to hitchhike to heaven wearing a big space glove?
Talk about liftoff.
Is there a message in the fact that who are those men and are they known anywhere today? But look what happened to John Glenn, who became a very, very great American.
Oh, Are you
No,
serious?
I don't think there's a message.
I'm serious. I'm serious.
Message.
Is there nothing to be said of the fact that his moral integrity helped to ground him
would
as a
you
human
enjoy-
being to become the leader that he was for our country in the
Okay,
Senate?
but do you enjoy being lectured by other people who are your colleagues about your personal life choices? Would you enjoy that, and does it happen to you? Or are you
Sure,
the
it
one
happens
doing
to
the
me. I think
lecturing?
it happens to anybody who is in public life. But we're
No,
talking
I'm
about.
not talking. I'm talking about your colleagues, the people in your workplace. Would you appreciate them coming into
Is
work
there
and
an
saying,
exorcist
you know,
office?
I have an
Do you have an
opinion.
office? Do you have a receptionist?
Okay. I have to take a commercial. We'll be right back. You think about that, young man.
At any given second, in here, it's always Friday. Boom, 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 boom. Right this second, Friday's famous Jack Grill entrees are getting something new. Your favorite cuts of meat with golden shrimp. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Audiences everywhere have discovered the #1 movie in America. Are you ready to be chilled to the bone? The Bone Collector, rated R, now playing.
Coolness, lasting freshness. Cert's Cool Mint Drops. Coolness outside, inside, a drop of Retsin for fresh, cool breath that really lasts. Cert's Cool Mint Drops, so you can keep your cool longer. Available in cinnamon, too.
When Sears has a sale, it's guaranteed big. All appliances are on sale. All home audio and video. All computers. Don't wait to turn on the good life. The big Veterans Day sale. Nobody guarantees a sale like Sears.
Earlier tonight,
The Speaker of the House. He's right again for $32,000.
way to go, Ted Patchell. Hey, Regis, what do you say we give the women a turn?
Beth Plummer, come on, let's go.
Will Beth Plummer walk away with $1 million? Find out tomorrow when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire continues at 8:30, 7:30 Central on ABC. They defined a generation
Bigger than the Beatles!
and showed us what a family could be.
Here's to everyone having a Partridge family in their life.
But when the lights went dim,
No, no, no!
the fairy tale ended.
Would you ever date anyone like Lori Partridge?
Are you kidding? She's my sister.
Hey, Keith!
I am sick and tired of being Keith Partridge.
The Partridge Family story you never knew. Come on, get happy Saturday at 9, 8 Central on ABC.
These lyrics are ridiculous.
Sunday on an all-new Practice.
What the hell is going on?
One of these people will be victimized
We have a situation.
What kind of situation?
by someone
Please help me.
close to Bobby.
You're gonna represent him?
I don't know.
You either are or you're not.
Now he must choose
I just can't turn my back on the guy.
between helping a friend
We stick together in this office, Bobby.
and abandoning another.
You did more than touch them. And it was so beautiful.
The Practice, Sunday 10, 9 Central on ABC.
One moment can make the difference between going home and going home a champion.
Oh my! There's no one in their seats at this point.
The Road to Gold, only on ABC.
You're planning to be in the Los Angeles area and would like free tickets to Politically Incorrect? Call 323-575-4321.
All right, I just have time to answer your question. I don't think John Glenn is more moral because he made us put him up in space when he was an old man. It cost a lot of money. We could have just put him at Epcot and told him he was in space. Okay. Tomorrow we have Eric Idle, Meredith Brooks from Will and Grace, Eric McCormick, and our conservative Jack Burton. Thank you, folks.